I'm not making any money talking these days. Good Christ. I'm a dick, folks. I'm not gonna lie to you. Still am. I guess I am a decent guy because I'm a fucking jerk, and I'm not a jerk. Apparently, I'm a dick. I'm not an awful guy, but I've done so much ridiculous stuff. I'm an awful guy. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. How are you? I hope you're fine, and I hope you answered me. That would be great. If when I said how are you said fine to the I do that all the time actually. When I'll be in the car, and there'll be a commercial on the radio, and they'll say, "Do you have problems with credit?" And I'll go, "Yes," even though I don't, but I'll say it out loud because I want that guy to answer me one time. I want him to tell me what he's got to say. I say yes, and he goes, "Really, Mike? That would be fantastic." And then I would wrap my car around a telephone pole, and then I would really have problems with credit. Here we come to you from Burbank, California, again, as I am here at my friend Lily's house, speaking into her headset mic, sitting on her rolly chair that apparently has the arms too big and the desk too short. That's what you want to do when you're decorating your house. Buy everything mismatching. Make sure nothing lines up properly. Get a chair that's low and a desk that's high, and then you look like a first grader. Or get a chair that's high and a desk that's low, and you consistently ram the handles into the desk. Can you tell I have nothing to talk about this week? As I just babble on about chairs and desks, I got nothing for you folks. Weird week at the Schmidt homestead. Karen and I, constant battle. Actually, back, and I pulled a chick move on her. This is weird because Karen drives whenever we go out. She just drives. It has always been that way because you know why? Because she's got the carport. I park on the street. She's got the carport. And if we come home at night, and when I was Fat Mike, I didn't want to find. This is how fat Mike was. Let me tell you this. When I was crazy Fat Mike, I'm talking like 500-pound Fat Mike, I would find a spot to park, call my wife, and she would drive out of the carport and come pick me up at the car. That's how disgustingly fat I was. Because it would, as I would, shamble out of my car and try to lug my incredible bulk up to my house, I'd get knee pain and back pain, and I'd start sweating, and I was just a lazy fuck. I'm not gonna lie to you folks. I was, it was, and I needed her to come pick me up so I could carry my 9 bags of fast food. Didn't want to have to be walking with that up the street because there's nothing. That's how much of a stereotype could that possibly be? Hey, look at that fat guy in sweatpants with 4 Taco Bell bags. Oh boy, that's great. But now, hell, forget about it. It's just become habit. She's got the carport, so we take her car, and that's that. The chick move that I pulled on her was we went to Denny's, and we were in there and had an argument. Because that's where your finer white trash couples want to have their arguments. They want to go to Denny's and have it out in front of all the other Hispanic people who are there eating Grand Slam breakfasts. And you know what we ordered at Denny's? It was funny because I had been out to a couple weeks before I had been at Denny's and saw something there, and I was with someone, and I said to them, "Hey, if I order this, are you going to get sick?" And they said, "Yeah, you know what? I might." And I said, "All right, then I won't order it." Told Karen about it. Apparently, for 2 weeks, she couldn't wait to try it. So she kept going, "We going to Denny's? Let's go to Denny's. Should we go to Denny's? Let's go to Denny's." So finally, she gets me to Denny's, and she orders the Grand Slam burger. Now, if you've been to Denny's, you know what a Grand Slam is. And, of course, if you haven't been to Denny's, you still know what a burger is. But let's combine them. A Grand Slam burger is a hamburger with a Grand Slam breakfast on top of it. It is a fat person's dream. It's just a hamburger with potatoes and eggs and cheesy sauce. And if you want bacon, you can get bacon. And also if you need like a defibrillator, I think they bring that over too, because it's fucking horrendous. Who would get that? My wife would. And she orders that and a salad, because you got to have you got to have that as a broom to push out the horrifying nonsense of the Grand Slam burger that you've jammed into your stomach. You got to go ahead and use that salad to clean it out. Whatever. So we wind up having a brawl there, back and forth about everything and nothing. I fucking left. Got up and walked out. Left her sitting at the table, and walked the 2.5 miles or 2 miles or whatever it was to my house. Because, that's what I do. Because you can't, because when she drives, if I pull that move, I know I'm walking. Because I'm not going to, what am I going to do? Walk out and stand by the car and go, "All right, we out of here?" No, I'm walking home, and I know that's so funny because that's like a chick thing to do, and then the guy's gonna go out after her and go, no, I'll give you a lift home and we'll get out of here. And Karen she knows at this point if I split because I've done it before. I mean, I've done it a handful of times, and by a handful I mean 30, where I just which is funny. I won't walk from my car to my door on my house, but at my house, but to prove a point, I'll walk home from some fucking restaurant that I leave my wife sitting because we were in a fight about nothing. And just being martyrs back and forth and making each other upset and then getting up and storming out. Idiot. So it's been that kind of week where we've just been going back and forth. Here's the bookends. It was like last week, walked out of Denny's, left her sitting there, big argument, big fight. And then I get home, we don't talk for like a day. Bookend it with today, had sex in Lily's parking garage before I came upstairs. Karen dropped me off. She took off work today because we had to go vote. And that's a good reason to take the day off work, to go for 5 minutes to the polling place and punch 9 buttons. And by the way, we went to vote. All right, we're voting in California, all right? And then there's, if you voted, you get the ballot and you open it up and it says vote for, there's 2 people and you have to vote for 1, obviously. Well, then they had a page and it had, I think, 12 names for a city council position. And it said vote for no more than 7. So I'm voting, and for some reason Karen wasn't in the voting book when we showed up, so she had to vote provisionally. So I got to go right to the ballot box. She had to go and get an envelope and shake an old man's hand and avoid a lady in a wheelchair and whatever else she had to do over there because, let's face it, that's who's there at the polling place. You walk in and there's 17 old people who can't find your name, and then they're yelling at you because it's your fault that you're not in the book. So Karen gets her provisional ballot. I'm finishing up. I'm voting. She comes right next to me, and I hear her, because you have to, in California, you have like a paint wand or something, and you go chunk, chunk, and you push down. So I'm voting. I hear her do this. I know her, and she's a numbskull sometimes, and I love her, but I just hear this, and I know she's on the page where it says vote for no more than 7 of 12. She chunk, 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 chunk. And I stop, and I look up, and I go, did you just vote for all 12 people on that page? She goes, it says well, yeah, you're supposed to just vote. I go, it says vote for no more than 7. She's like, well, what? I go, what are you, like a 5th grader? You're just punching every hole in the ballot? What are you voting for everyone? What are you doing? You're the reason that Al Gore wasn't the president 8 years ago. And she's like, well, I don't, and she starts laughing because she can't, she realizes that she's busted and that she made a mistake. But now even worse, she's got to go back to the old people and get another ballot. So they immediately start with oh, I can't believe you made a mistake. What did you do? Why would you do? And she's like, give me another ballot, please, so I can make sure that Prop 98 doesn't go through and my rent stays the same. That's the only reason we voted. We don't care who are the judges. We don't care who are the city council people. We just wanted to make sure that Prop 98 in California got defeated so they couldn't raise my rent to, $1,400 in a minute. But yeah, she punched every hole. Just chunk, 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 chunk. I hear her doing it. What are you doing? What? I'm just voting. Yes, but voting means you have to make a choice. Voting doesn't mean just punching holes in there. Good God. So yeah, weird week. And in between the walkout at Denny's and the sex in the parking garage, had a pregnancy scare with my wife this week. And by pregnancy scare, I mean a pregnant woman leaped out and jumped from the bushes and scared us. No. No, I mean, Karen and I thought there might be a little 40-year-old boy on the way, and that would have been awful because let me tell you something, I would have been gone. Not going to lie to you folks, because it has been like 3 weeks, and all of a sudden it got a little weird. And the thing is, Karen, we're in a position now where, because I'm old, and Karen's had some things happen medically where we didn't think she was going to have a baby. And I don't think I have any bullets in the gun because I got to be honest, I don't think anything's coming out of me at this point. I pretty much used it all up from jerking off everywhere. I think I have relieved my body of that of creating anything. What comes out now? A nice scent. That's what comes out whenever I jerk off. That's it. Just a pleasant, just like it's like vanilla and citrus. I don't know where it's from, but that's what happens. So, I thought nothing, but still we do take precautions. I don't leave any deposits in the mailbox, if you know what I'm saying. I am more of an outdoor delivery guy. I will leave it outside the door, if you know what I'm saying. So we do that. But the other day, for some reason, there was something that urgently had to be left in the mailbox. So I was like, all right, let's do that. So it happened. And when I say the other day, that was like a month ago or whatever. So then nothing's happening. I mean, she's not, there's no friend in town. There's no cycling happening. And so then she keeps saying, hey, you know what? I think I'm pregnant. I think I'm, and with 3 cigarettes in her hand, by the way, too. Hey, I think I'm pregnant. Yes, I'm sure the child is thrilled to be being carried in that vessel of inequity. That as you sit there and suck down tobacco in his face. Yeah. So she thought she was. So we lived with that. We're like, she's like, you think I'm pregnant? I go, I don't know. You. And she's, I'm 40. She's a little older than I am. So like I said, to me, all signs pointed that it was okay to leave a delivery in the mailbox because we weren't going to have to worry about anything coming of it. But to be safe, after 3 weeks, we finally decided, well, you know what? She's like, why don't I go get a pregnancy test? I said, all right, if that's what we got to do. And I'm so cheap. I'm like, you know what? Why don't we just wait and see? Because in my opinion, she can't be pregnant. I mean, I don't think there's any way that she's pregnant. So I certainly don't want to go waste $13 for some popsicle stick to tell me that she's not fucking pregnant. But so I'm like, well, let's just wait. So we waited another week, and it didn't happen. Like and then she's like, look, we really got to check this out. And I said, all right, let's go. We'll go get a test. Because if she's pregnant, seriously, 2 things are going to happen. It's either this baby's going to go up for adoption, or we're going to start taking the stairs and crossing our fingers. So we go, and by the way, she is not on board with that at all. She's like, thrilled with, because we both have decided, we've come to grips with the fact that we're not going to have kids, and we don't want to have kids, but at the same time, we would both probably like to have a kid. Me for selfish reasons, just to have like a little me to order around and make him do crazy stuff. And her because she likes kids, and I like kids too. Just you know what I like? You know what I don't like? I don't like responsibility. If I had a kid who just like showed up and he's like, all right, where do I go to work? I would say, fantastic. Fill out an application and go get a job. And when you come home, we'll watch baseball and have fun. Guess what? I have an Xbox. When you get home from work, we can play on it. Because that's me. That's who you're dealing with. I wish it wasn't true, but it's totally true. And so she says, we got to get a pregnancy test. I'm like, well, fantastic. So then we went out with our friend Lily and her husband, and we went Sunday, and we wound up in a CVS. And we go down the aisle, and there's the pregnancy tests, and they have the fancy ones, which are like $25. And then they got, CVS brand, which is, it's just, all it is like a scratch-off card. That's what it is. I don't know how they do it medically, but it's like you just take a quarter and you scratch off the thing. You are not pregnant. Fantastic. Thank you, CVS. Appreciate you coming through. So Karen grabs one of those. And then it's funny, when you grab those, there's a choice where you can get one that has 1 pregnancy test in it, or one that has 2, one that has 3. So she grabs the one with 1. And we go walking, and I go, you know what? Let's get at least 2, just in case. So when the first one says yes, I still have something to pray for. And she says, okay. So then she gives me the one with 1, and I go back, and she didn't notice this maybe. It was open. The one that she grabbed was open. Who's opening it at CVS? And for that matter, is there someone there going, I really got to do this right now. I need to do it immediately. Let's rip the top off and go to work. So I put it back, and I get a nice sealed one. I'm like, you know what? If we're going to do this, we're going to do it the right way. We're going to get the most inexpensive piece of plastic to jam up there and find out if there's birth happening. So we grab the box with 2, and then we split, and then we go to Baskin-Robbins, because that's what you do. You immediately go and say, let's go get a hot fudge sundae just in case. So I'm at least sugar drunk when I get the horrible news, and then Karen's like, well, I got to use the restroom. And so did Lily. They both had to use the restroom at Baskin-Robbins. And it turns out we were at a Baskin-Robbins that for some reason doesn't have a public restroom. And the thing is, when I say for some reason, that's a lot of places in California don't have a public restroom. And in Hollywood, I understand it, because you've just got the walking homeless dead down there, and they're just looking for a place to take a quick fucking, shower. So you don't want to let them use the bathroom. But we were in Burbank at a Baskin-Robbins. How do you not have a restroom? There's 12 people in here. How do you tell them? It just made no sense. But so then we had to pile back into the car and go to CVS. And Lily's husband, by the way, thrilled about this turn of events because he drove. So he drives one way, he drives the other way, he's driving back and forth, and he's got the 2 fucking pigeon sisters in the back going, we got to go to the bathroom, we got to go here, we got to go there, let's go to CVS, I want to go to Walgreens. And I'm just looking at him going, please, don't kill us because they may have a baby. And they're just like crying, we want to go here. And I looked at him and I go, you know what? My wife is complaining for 2, so we really have to listen to her at this point. We wind up at CVS. And they run in to use the restroom. I'm out with Lily's husband in the car, and we're waiting. And then the two of them, Lily and Karen, come back out to the car, and they're like, "All right, let's go to Baskin Robbins." And Lily's husband lets out a sigh and rolls his eyes, and then backs directly into traffic. He, for some reason, does not turn his head when he drives. He never turns his head when he drives. He's gonna object to it, and he's gonna say that he does. He does not. He drives like a big one of those big Chrysler 300s. It's like a tomb on wheels. I mean, it's huge and it's really nice, but he doesn't understand that, it has windows and things to look out of, and you can't just back up. He did it the whole trip, and I never said anything. And I am a horrible passenger in a car, because I told you I will tell Karen where to drive and where to go and how to turn and what to do. But I don't tell Lily's husband how to do things, because it's just, he's a man, it's his car, and I don't want to be a dick about it. But this time I had to, because he just fired out into the back, and there's one person turning left and another person coming straight. He didn't even look. He just, boom, goes right back. I go, "Dude, what are you doing?" Finally, I had to drop that on him. He's like, "What?" I go, "Do you not look ever? I mean, he doesn't have a blind spot because he doesn't turn around to check. He doesn't know if he has one. For him, the blind spot is behind. That's his blind spot." So he just goes back, and then he, of course, gives me a hard time. And of course, you know what I do? I get out of the car and walk home. No, that's not what I did. So we wind up at Baskin Robbins, and we go to sit down, and we all get our sundaes and things that we're sitting down eating. And Karen casually mentions she took the pregnancy test in CVS. So remember what I said earlier about the person who ripped open the box and they couldn't wait and they had to find out just at that point? That's my wife. She and Lily went into the restroom and pissed on sticks and then came back out for a sundae. I mean, who are you? What kind of an animal takes the pregnancy test at the drugstore? You can wait another hour for us to find out. It's not like, what if it was positive? I blew the end because it wasn't positive. But what if it was? Does she think now we got to go home and paint the baby's room? I mean, insane. So if we pull out the little thing, and I don't know what's what. I don't know if because there's negative signs and plus signs and all that, and there's two circles. And they said if there's lines, I'm pregnant. And there's a line. And I go, well, there's a line. And it was funny up until that second. And then Karen goes, what? And I go, there's a line right here in the circle. And then they said, I go, I don't know what this means. And then they're reading the directions, which unfold like a goddamn road map, literally filled up the entire back seat. How much do you need, yes or no? How many instructions do you need for pregnant or not pregnant? Apparently with CVS, you need this gigantic it's like a car tarp. I mean, it's gigantic. So they unfold it and they're holding it and they're looking for a schematic and it's in French and, I go, just show me a picture that shows me whether you're pregnant or not. And you go up to it and if it had two lines, one line in each circle, you were pregnant. And it turned out we had one line in one circle, nothing in the other circle, no baby coming. So, dodge that bullet. And, well, even if Karen didn't dodge that bullet, if you know what I'm saying. And from now on, my bullets will be shot into a much more interesting place because I am not about to go through that again. Because I've been through that scare, man. That's not good. When you have the pregnancy scare once, you should never have it again in your life. Because if you remember how you felt when you had it, you'll every time you're getting laid or thinking about anything sexy-wise with some lady, hi, I just came in from 1972 to do this podcast. It's good to see you. If you're thinking about being sexy-wise with some lady, I'm Borat, apparently, and you will think about the time that you almost had a kid, and you will immediately go, you know what? I'm sorry. I got to paint the walls with this. I got to do something because I can't go through that again. But we had it once before, Karen and I, when we first met. It was the day after, and no, it was when we were living together, and we had the pregnancy scare, and then thankfully nothing happened there. So, yeah, tough week, weird week. I got to tell you this too, by the way. I don't know if anybody's following the R. Kelly trial. R. Kelly is a singer who's on trial for having sex with an underage chick, and there's all these people testifying that he had a three-way with a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old. I mean, it's just lurid, crazy details of R. Kelly's life. But my favorite detail from the trial was the woman who was involved in the three-way with the 13-year-old said, we had a three-way on his basketball court, and I actually quit my job, and I would travel around the country with him, and he put me up in hotels, and then he would film us having sex. And we had a three-way with this young girl on the basketball court. And they said he would film you. They said he would film it all the time, and he would carry his homemade porn around with him in a bag that never left his side. He constantly had a bag that was filled with his porn tapes, she said. His porn tapes that he had made himself, and he would let nobody else touch it. It traveled with him all over the place. So it's good to know that my brother Glenn has something in common with R. Kelly. And maybe was the forerunner of R. Kelly. It was like R. Kelly may have actually heard about Glenn and the BBOP and said, you know what, that sounds like something I got to do. I got to take care of business. So that made me laugh when I saw that, because it was like this big. And the best part of it was when any commentator on CNN or when it was written up in the AP story or on MSNBC or Fox or any other news organization would relate that anecdote, they would make a face like it was the weirdest and most horrible thing they'd ever heard in their lives. Yeah, apparently he carried around a bag of his own homemade porn with him at all times. Boy, this case is just getting weirder. Yeah, you know what that is? My life. That was me and my brother Glenn, him walking around with his crazy doctor bag full of fist fucking videos. And Glenn hasn't heard the show, by the way, I don't think. Well, I mean, let's put it this way. If he heard the show, he certainly hasn't called to tell me that he heard the show. And he hasn't decided to talk about it with me in any way, shape, or form. And I can't blame him. Why not? So that's good. I'll be down to one brother who I speak with. I'll tell you this. So this happened. Karen and I went to the movies this weekend. First of all, I went to two movies. I went and saw Bigger, Stronger, Faster, which is a steroid documentary, a documentary about steroids. Really good. I liked it a lot. It's a guy who's been on steroids, and his brothers are still on steroids. Interesting. Look at steroids and that. But I went on a Saturday morning. The movie was at like 10:55 a.m. And I got there, and the theater was really quiet because it's early. And I park, and I go in, and I watch the movie. I walk out of the theater, and I walk onto the set of Will and Grace the musical, because the theater was filled with gay guys and women in great shoes waiting to see Sex in the City. And like literally anticipating it, like jumping up and down and clenching their little fists and holding their tiny bags and smiling and smirking and making sure no popcorn got on their pink shirts. Good Christ. I mean, and I had just seen a movie on steroids, so I have a little testosterone, and I get a little, I walk out of there a little swole up, and forget about it. I walked out, I'm like, all right, who gets a hand job? Anybody? Who wants a hand job? Because it was like crazy estrogen in the air. Immediately, I'm like, you know what? I got to jump the fence. Why not? I got to fit in. When in Rome, blow a guy in Rome. That's how it went. Because it was crazy gay guys and women, but hot girls, and they're all going to the movie, but at the same time, they're not hot girls like in hot girl mode. They're in you go girl mode because they're about to go watch their heroes in the Sex and the City movie. So you look at a girl and you kind of smile at her, and they're just like, oh, get lost. I'm a Samantha, whatever the hell that means. And I didn't see the movie. Karen went and saw Sex and the City Friday with a bunch of girls from her work in the same, that same deal. And, I didn't see it, not because I'm that guy who's like, oh, I'm a man and I don't want to see it. I didn't see it because I don't need to see it. I watched the show and actually thought the show was funny. I had no problem with it. I thought it was a funny show, but I'm done with those characters. I don't need to see if they get married or if they continue to fuck everybody like the old chick did. What's Kim Cattrall? She's not old, but she's the oldest of them. And oh, by the way, I saw her at the premiere, and wow, does she have awful feet? I don't know if you care, but she was just walking around, and she's, because that's something these women need to learn, because they all talk about Jimmy Choo's and Manolo Blahniks, and so of course they're going to get a zoom in on your feet, and hers looked like a map of Iowa. Jesus God, it was just like crazy blue lines, and it just did not look good. So if I'm Kim Cattrall, I buy some socks. All right, so we see those movies, and then we go to a movie together. We go to a movie called The Strangers on Saturday night. And it's a scary movie. It's Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman. I have no idea who Scott Speedman is. You know who he looks like if you go see the movie? He looks like Jason Hervey from the Wonder Years, but kind of grown up. And so the whole time I'm thinking he's the bully, the older brother. And then Jason Hervey went on. I actually know Jason Hervey from wrestling, sadly. Like he went on to become like a wrestling guy, and he's now in business with Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff. Like they make all these reality shows. So I shouldn't make fun of Hervey. I'm doing a fucking free radio show. So anyway, but Speedman looks like Hervey. So we go to watch The Strangers, and it's a packed house. And we get to the theater, and it's it's a weird cross mix because it's people going to see The Strangers, maybe some old people seeing Indiana Jones, and then of course the aforementioned gay army on their way to Sex in the City. And Karen and I get in line, and it's like I said, it's very busy. We were at the ArcLight in Sherman Oaks. Because the ArcLight in Hollywood was not showing The Strangers, so we had to go to the Sherman Oaks ArcLight, the ghetto ArcLight. That's what I like to call it, the poor man's ArcLight. So we're in line for concessions, trying to get some popcorn and stuff, and it's a lot of big long lines. So we're in line, and there's two registers but one line. So what it is whenever one guy at one register he'd call somebody over, and it was that type of deal. So everybody was being very nice and taking their time. So a guy. at the one register, he finishes and he's got nobody in front of him, and he takes somebody. We're in the left line. He takes some people from the right line, even though he'd been taking people from the left line the entire time. Then all of a sudden he decides to take people from the right line, and the guy in front of me complains about it. He's like, well, we're next. And he goes, no, you're not next, sir. I can help whoever I want. Like he says, I mean, and literally says that. I can help whoever I want, as if he is the king of popcorn. Like he's the master of dibs, which is horrible ice cream, by the way. Don't get dibs. Dibs, it's like little rabbit pellets filled with ice cream. It's awful. And it's soft and it melts. You know, who eats ice cream at the theater? It's bad enough getting a hot dog or a pesto sausage that they sell at the ArcLight. Awful. So we're there in the concession line, and these guys have like kind of a little dust up. And he's like, well, we're next. No, sir, I can help whoever I want. And he goes, what? Okay, well then cool, help somebody. And he martyrs out and goes to help. And who he went to help was next to us. There was a group of about 8 girls. And I'm assuming they're all about to get their Miranda on. So they're there, and the guy turns to me and kind of gives me that knowing look like, can you believe this? And I said to him, and I go, you know what the worst thing is? Not that he's not helping us, but that he was such a fucking dick about it. That's the thing. And he goes, exactly. I know, right? I said, yeah. I go, all of a sudden he decides to help them, and it's okay if there's a mix-up, but who shouldn't he say to you, sorry, sir, I'll get to you in a second, instead of I can help whoever I want? I go, that's kind of fucking ridiculous. So no, I've said fuck out loud twice. That's not nice. I understand that. I shouldn't be swearing, and certainly not at the decibel level that I probably was doing it. Especially with these 8 women who are all about to go in and see if Carrie throws her bouquet. So they're all doing their thing, and then one of them, as I'm talking, I realize she gives me a look. She kind of shoots me a dirty look. And I did swear. And I said, I look at her and I go, hey, I'm really sorry. And not sarcastic, just like that. Hey, I'm sorry. And she looks at me and I go, I apologize. I understand I'm swearing very loud, and I didn't mean to. I apologize. And she kind of gives me a dirty look, and she nods, and then she turns back. And Karen's like, what's up? And I go, oh, I swore. And she kind of shot me a look, and I it wasn't nice. This girl then turns around and goes, look, I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but why did you sit there and you fucking swear at me? And she goes off. I mean, she goes from quiet nodding to yelling at me at this high level. And I'm looking at Karen, and when you're a man, there's nothing worse than being yelled at by a woman and her saying, what did you do to me? Because everybody thinks you did something, even if you didn't. I'm literally just standing there, and she launches on me, comes flying, and 2 of her friends kind of, tell her, calm down, don't worry. And she's like, well, you want to sit there and you want to talk shit to me? Who do you think you are talking shit to me? And I go, listen, I was not talking to you. I said I was sorry because I swore. All I said was I was sorry. And they go, Marissa, calm down. I go, seriously, Marissa, calm down. I was only... Because I'm trying, which was kind of smart-assy, but at the same time, because you know what? As much as I'm trying to diffuse the situation, part of me wants to go, hey, who the fuck do you think you are? Launching on me in front of everybody, because sadly I have that gene where immediately like my chest swells up and I'm like, what? Who are you? So she's yelling. So they calm her down and she walks off. And 2 of her friends look at me and they go, we're really sorry. She just had a death in her family and she's kind of crazy. And she's really upset right now. And as they're telling this, I go, look, I understand that. I just said that I was sorry to her because I swore. I'm out of nowhere. She comes running up and chest bumps me and goes, my fiance just fucking died. And if he was here, you wouldn't be talking shit. And boom, chest bumps me. And I turn around and I go, what is going on? And they're like, Marissa, calm down, Marissa. And she's crying now, full-fledged tears, sobbing. And they're dragging her away. I can't believe it happened. I can't believe she took a poke at me, first of all. And also, I can't believe that this woman is out of the house in this condition. Did your fiance die on the way to the theater? That's the question I have, because, man, you are way too upset at this point. And not way too upset. Her fiance died. She's got a right to be angry or upset or sad. But maybe you do some of that grieving in the house and not where I paid $13 to see a movie. Chest bumps me like I'm an umpire calling her out at the plate. Just hammers me. There's nothing I can do. Literally, if she decides to start wailing on me, I got to take that ass whooping. I just got to stand there and go, Marissa, psh, Marissa, psh, psh, Marissa, honestly, calm down. I'm very sorry about Tom, psh, 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 but I got to take it. Luckily, they drag her away. And like I said, there's like 9 chicks, and it takes 4 of them to drag Marissa off. And her friend comes up again, and they're like, man, we are so sorry. She just, as you can tell, things are a little crazy for her right now. And I'm like, yeah. I go, do me a favor, what movie are you guys seeing? And she goes, I don't want to tell you. I said, no, I'm not going to terrorize you guys. I just want to make sure I don't get fucking shivved in the middle of my movie. The last thing I want to do is see some scary part, everybody freaks out, and I get a nail file in the jugular and I bleed out in the fucking theater. Because this chick is not about to let this go. I'm telling you, even now, I'm guaranteeing you, they're talking about whatever fun movie they saw, and she's just going, can you believe that fat fucking bastard at the concession stand talked shit to me? But I didn't, Marissa. I swear to God, I didn't. I apologize. I was very gentlemanly about it. I was a nice man. You're the one who came flying at me like Primo Carnera out of a fucking boxing match in the fucking 40s. Jesus God. Someone put a rope on Marissa. She's losing it. Comes flying at me. Her fiance just died. And the funny thing is, then I'm trying to think about what movie she's seeing. I said to Karen, I asked them what movie she's going to be in because we're seeing The Strangers. And Karen's like, well, I don't think they're going to be in this movie. And I said, well, I hope not. And she's like, her fiance just died. Do you think they're going to take her to a movie where a young couple gets terrorized for 3/4 of the movie? I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's a really good point. And I go, you know what? They're probably seeing Sex in the City. Which also, then I go, you know what? Sex and the City, a worse choice than The Strangers. Carrie gets married in the first 15 minutes. How's Marissa going to handle that scene? Oh, this is so great for Carrie and Big. I'm glad to see that they're finally getting married. I've been rooting for them a long time. Of course, I'd be getting married if it wasn't for the fact that my fucking fiancé died. Oh my God! Where's that fucking cocksucker from the goddamn concession stand? What else could she be seeing? I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, is she going to see Narnia? There's still something, doesn't like the Lion Jesus? Does she really want to see Jesus in a film? Because now Tom's up there, and I don't even know if his name is Tom. I'm attributing him a name because I need to know some reason why this chick took a fucking swing at me. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what movie she could possibly be seeing. Indiana Jones, where he reconnects with some long lost family member and his long lost. He gets married at the end. He gets married. Oh, Marissa, don't go to the movies if your fiance just died. That's my message to the whole fucking world. Took a swing at me, fucking chest bumped me, and oh, it was beautiful. And part of me wanted, it was funny because Karen just kind of got the weird face, like, what's happening? Part of me wishes Karen would have just gone all feral on her and just said, hey, what the fuck are you doing coming after my man? Whack, whack, whack. That would have been beautiful. So how great would that have been? If fucking Karen just absolutely clotheslined this chick and dropped her. That would have been beautiful to see her spring into action. She couldn't. Oh, ha, ha. Lily said she couldn't because she still thought she was pregnant at the time. So, yeah, that's a good point. That's why she couldn't rally my defense. Sure, if Karen didn't think she had a baby, she would have fucking cleaned that chick's clock. She would have absolutely dropped her. But luckily, she knew she was preparing for a birth at some point. And she's like, oh, I got to step back. I got to get out of this because there's... And you know what? She should have dropped that on her because that would have really hurt her. You know what? I would take you out right now, but I'm pregnant. Something you probably would have been if your fiance had lived. So suck on that, Marissa. Chick took a swing at me in a movie theater. Chest bumped me. Like I'm Paul Runge. That's an umpire who nobody knows. Nobody will get that reference at all. Yeah, so even when I'm not looking for it, I swore twice. I was a little out of line, but I said I was sorry, and I said I was sorry 3 times, and still got popped. Terrible. So then we saw The Strangers, and that was fun. That was all right. So it's a weird week, man. It's very odd. You know what? I'm going to put this in your hands, America, and Sweden, and Hawaii, and Ireland, and everybody else who's written me, Wales, and this happened with Karen and I today. Actually, my wife and I, we were down in Beverly Hills. Like I said, we went to vote, and then we went to go get a cupcake down at Sprinkles because they make the best cupcakes, and they make an orange cupcake. And I am an orange guy. I am a citrus guy. I enjoy that. Like if I get my car washed, I want an orange smell in it. I love oranges, and that's who I am. So I have never been able to try the orange cupcake at Sprinkles because it is only served on a Tuesday. And, Karen has a real job, so she's at work, and I don't plan on going to Beverly Hills by myself for a cupcake because that would be just a little too fat. Like, that's just a little too weird. Like, if it's with Karen, I can justify it by saying, oh, man, let's take a ride. It'll be like an adventure. But if I do it, it's like I'm trying to score smack, in some alley somewhere where I personally got into my car and drove for a cupcake. Terrible. Especially with gas prices, I can't justify it in my brain. What I can justify, however, is my wife taking the day off work to take me. So she takes off work today to go vote, and then I'm like, well, why don't we go to Sprinkles and get an orange cupcake since you're around? So we do. We head on down to Beverly Hills, and we park, and then I was supposed to record today at 1, so I'm like, well, we got to get home, fairly quick. So we go down to Sprinkles, we buy the orange cupcake, and you know what? It was a brick. Not gonna lie to you, the orange cupcake at Sprinkles was a whiff. Because and the thing is, all of their cupcakes are amazing. Well, they're good. They're very good. But they have two peanut butter cupcakes that I would kill a person for. I would eat, and I would, if someone ahead of me in line bought the last peanut butter cupcake, I would follow them until they ate it, and then I would bite their throat until I was able to eat the remnants out of it. That's how good it is. Like, I would actually tackle them and chew it out of their fucking Adam's apple. I would bite right through their neck until I got whatever cupcake they were swallowing. That's how good it is. So, we went there today, and they had the orange, and then they had they have one of the peanut butters on Tuesday. So we bought one of each, and we went outside, and it was nice to sit out in Beverly Hills and watch Jaguars drive by and Bentleys and cars that I'll never be able to afford. As I sit there eating a cupcake that, quite frankly, I couldn't afford. I'm eating a $4 cupcake. So we eat that, and then we're walking around because we thought about maybe eating lunch down there. Because let me tell you, there's nothing better after eating 2 fist-sized balls of sugar than knocking down some lunch. So Karen and I are walking around looking, and actually there was another bakery up the street that we saw that we drove by, and when we were walking back to our car, someone walked past us with more cupcakes, and they were, like, Sprinkles cupcakes are really good, but they look like cupcakes. These people walked by, and it looked like she had a dozen little birthday cakes in the thing, and Karen's like, they had to come from that other bakery. Well, that's all you got to do is tell fat me that's what I said, let's go, let's move. So we walk up the street, and we go to this bakery called Crumbs. And when I walk in, they have an Artie Lang cupcake. And what was really weird is a friend of mine, Heather, was there, who is a friend of mine's girlfriend. She was on jury duty in Beverly Hills, and she comes walking out and sees me on the street. And she's like, hey, there's an Artie Lang cupcake in there, which then makes my brain go, oh, my God, that must be the place from New York, because I saw Artie on MSNBC on Donnie Deutsch, and they gave him a blind cupcake taste test to find out if he knew which one was his, and he did. So I was like, well, I got to be just that fat. So I'm going to go in there. So we walk in, and this place has, I mean, there's cupcakes, and then these look like you could rent these cupcakes and live in them. They're huge, and they've got piles of frosting and like a monster cake, and they're way too big to even eat. Like, let's put it this way: as samples, they had what they called bite-sized cupcakes. They were normal-sized cupcakes, basically, for free that you could eat to try, whether you wanted to buy. And so we ate the bite-sized Artie Lang one. Karen and I split it. And it was gross, by the way, because he likes Boston cream pie, and it tastes like Boston cream pie, and Boston cream pie is awful. It just tastes like a bowl of jizz with chocolate frosting. And please don't ask how I know what that tastes like. I don't really know what that tastes like. I'm just anticipating that that's what it would taste like. All right, so it was just grim. So I said, well, I can't buy that. So I'm there, though, so I buy the key lime cupcake, and we get the dolly, and we wheel it out to the car, and we put it in the trunk. So then we're still looking for a place to eat. But then Karen, of course, sees a boutique. It's Beverly Hills. So she pops in to look around, and Karen, I don't know if it's a man-woman thing or if it's just a me-woman thing. Guys, and I hate to be this guy, but every hack comic does the bit about how men don't want to shop. They want to stand there and hold the bag, and the woman goes to the mall and blah, 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 and shoot me in the fucking face. That's awful. But so I don't mind going shopping with Karen if she wants to do that. But I don't want to get roped in. I don't want to get involved in the scheme, because if we're going in there and I know we're not buying anything, I hate talking to salespeople, because for me that just means that after 15 minutes of looking at stuff and talking to them, we're going to go, you know what, we're going to take off, and they're going to fucking hate you because you just wasted 15 minutes of their day. Whereas Karen thinks it's beautiful. She thinks nothing of having these women dress her like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman and take photos, and then she's, they stack up mattresses and she sleeps on them and the pee doesn't get crushed, and then she's got a crazy Guinevere hat with a scarf, and then she's going, you know what, I'm not buying anything here. Good day, and storms out. I don't understand that. To me, it's just uncomfortable and weird. So we go into this place, and she sees a ring in the window, and again, I'm an ape. I don't understand window displays. I mean, I do, but I don't. But I just figured it wouldn't be she goes, I want to see that ring in the window. So I walk in. I walk right past the sales lady. She's like, can I help you? I go, no, I know what it is. I reach into the window display. She's like, what are you doing? I said, my wife wants to see this ring. I'll get it. What do you mean you'll get? I'm getting it. I'm not going to knock everything over. I'm not some fucking maniac. But whatever. So she gets it. Karen tries the ring on. She's like, oh, isn't it nice? Yes, it's okay, I suppose. Then there's another ring that's just like it. And the other ring that's just like it is missing a stone out of it. So they're going to give her a deal. So they're going to give her like $4 off of this, $78 ring or whatever. And I'm like, well, let me ask you something. Why wouldn't you pay the $78 for the other ring that has the actual stone in it? Really? Do you want to have the one that looks like someone broke it and just go, ha, save $4? No, get the other one if you want it. So she looks at that. She's looking at that. Then she gets the woman brings over a purse. It's this Italian leather purse. And Karen opens it up and she's rummaging around. And Karen is a purse person. Karen is a purse person and a shoe person. And, I've gotten her Coach purses and who's it? Karen Spade. Is it Donna Spade? Who is it? Come on. Karen Spade? I don't know. No, it isn't. I don't know. It's Spade. Whatever. No, there's Donna Karen. Exactly. I don't know who it is. I got her a Kate Spade bag for Christmas a couple years ago. I've gotten her a Coach bag, Coach wallet, but whatever. So I know she likes that stuff. So this woman brings over an Italian purse. Karen starts rummaging through it. There's little secret pockets, that's optimum apparently in a purse. Secret pockets where you can put nothing ever. But she pulls one out, and inside the secret pocket, there's a battery, a 2 AA battery holder, like you would have in the back of your remote for your television set. If you pulled off the back of it, it would look like that's where you put 2 AA batteries. So she says to the woman, what's with the batteries? She goes, oh, the purse lights up. So if you're in a dark club, you can open it up and the lights go off around it and you can look inside your purse. Lily's making a face like literally she just won $1 million. So, and Karen just goes, oh my God. Like she makes that noise, a noise I haven't heard since before I thought when she was pregnant. And I go, oh, okay. So she's looking at the purse and she's just like, oh, it's amazing. And it's like a big clutch and you can hold it like this and you can do that. And, that's fine. Wonderful. If you like it, that's great. So she's like, you know what? You could get this for me like as an early birthday present. And I said to her, look, if that's what you want, you tell me. But I'm just telling you that's probably not a good idea to get this purse. The purse is $175. I'm not going to lie to you. I still owe the government like $1 billion for taxes. The walls, I'm in the garbage chute in Star Wars and the walls are closing in and we're trying to get the fuck out. So I tell her, I go, you know what? That's honestly, but here's another reason why I'm telling her this. All right, I will tell you this. The reason I'm telling her that she doesn't want this as an early birthday present is because I've already purchased her early birthday present that she doesn't know about that's going to be a surprise. Because I was also told that women love surprises. At least I thought they did. So she's always constantly with the bargaining, with the, oh, get it for me as an early birthday present, da-da-da. And but in my head, I go, I don't want to tell her that I've already got her birthday present. So I'm going to let her decide. She's, a 42-year-old woman. She can go ahead and figure it out for herself. So I said, listen, I go, if that's what you want for your early birthday present, go ahead and make the choice. But I'm telling you, that's a choice you have to make. And she's like, nah, let's go. I said, okay. So we split. We leave the place and we walk back down to the car and she's smoking a cigarette. We're getting ready to get the hell out of there. And she looks at me and goes, but it lights up out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. I mean, we're talking about going and when we're going to eat lunch and let's get in the car. And she's like, all right, I'm going to smoke a cigarette. She puts a cigarette away. I'm like, hey, should we get out of here? How much time's left in the meter? But it lights up. What lights up? The purse. Oh my God, it was so cute. It was unbelievable. I go, yeah, I know it was. It was great. She goes, I want it. I go, you're sure? She goes, yeah, I want it. I go, okay, this is your decision. You want it? I'm getting it. And I took off. Took off running. No, I didn't run. What if I did? I went, taxi! I leaped in a taxi, made him drive me 3 blocks. So I just walk over to get the purse. And of course, I should say when we decided to split, these women acted as if we had come in and killed a dog on the countertop because they showed her rings and they made her do all this stuff. And she had the purse in her hand and it was all exciting. And then when we left, they were just like, well, what about the rings? Don't you want the rings? Don't you want anything? Look at this convenience rack. Come on, something. So when I show back up, they're already giving the treatment to another woman who's laying on the mattresses and getting wrapped in chiffon. And they're going to trick her into buying something. So I walk in and I go, hey, I just need that purse. And they go, what purse? I go, the purse that lights up, the Italian leather purse. She goes, doesn't she want the rings? Ha! Really? You're going to go ahead and force your commission down my throat? No, I just want the purse. That's all I want. So I get the purse. It's $175. I pay for it. We split. Now, there's a fable I like to tell. It's a true life fable. I'm going to tell it to you right now. When I was 8 years old, I went to Kelly Day Camp in Chicago. My mom would take my brother Lenny and I to day camp and drop us off. We would spend the day there, and then my mom would get high or whatever the hell she did during the day. I have no idea what my mom did. But it was just a way to get 2 of her 5 children out of her hair. So she kept the other 3 and was able to bargain the 2 of us off into, doing crafts and services and making macaroni ornaments and swimming. So we go to Kelly Day Camp every day for the summer. We're going. My birthday is July 29th. The morning of my birthday, we get up and my mom is like, all right, let's go. We're going to day camp. Let's get ready. Happy birthday. I go, you know what? It's my birthday, Ma. I don't think I want to go to day camp today. She said, why? I said, because it's day camp. And it's my birthday and it's my day, which means I can decide what I want to do. I'm 8 years old, by the way. So that's what I want to do. I want to stay home. She's like, all right, Lenny, let's go. We'll go to day camp. So my wife, oh, that was horrifically Freudian. My ma takes Lenny to day camp. And I sit at home, and guess who I play with during the day? Lenny. Guess who's not there? Lenny. Guess what I do? Nothing. But it's my birthday. I made my own decision. I get to sit in my house, do whatever I want. You know what I get to do? Nothing, because there's nobody to play with. My little brothers are there. My mom's off doing whatever she does, and I'm sitting in a room. I'm reading the same comic books. I'm doing nothing. Literally, there's nothing to do. I want to play catch with. Nothing. Lenny comes home from day camp. Balloons. He's got 5 balloons and a birthday hat. And there was a birthday party for Mike Schmidt at day camp. My mom knew. Lenny comes home. He's got the balloons. And he's like, you missed your party. I said, what? He goes, you missed your party. They had a birthday party for you. I said, what do you mean? And he goes, well, they see the balloons and I got a hat. And, they had a birthday party for you. It was like we got there and it was like a big thing. They had a banner. And I went, what? And my mom goes, yeah, there was a birthday party for you. But you decided you didn't want to fucking go. So my mom knew there was a birthday party for me. And to teach me a lesson about being that guy who makes his own decision and a little smart ass, a little smart mouth, let me stay home and miss my birthday party. While my brother went and had fun. And my mom was like, maybe you'll think twice next time before you start making your own decisions and start, thinking about what you want to do and telling me what you're going to do. So that's been with me for 32 years. By the way, my brother brought home a piece of cake, but it was the kind of cake that a 10-year-old brings home. So it's like he sat on it in the car like that. It's all fucking smashed. And it says, happy birthday, Ike, because the M is gone. I mean, it's like just a tragedy. This piece of literally one piece of, and it was banana cake because I liked banana, really liked banana. They made my favorite cake. Who makes my favorite cake? Day camp does, and I don't go. So it's banana cake with whipped cream frosting, and it's smashed. The M is gone. Everything is ruined. And my mom had brought my presents to the party. My mom had brought my presents to the party, so I would have gotten them at the party. My mom's presents. My mom told them to give them to some other kids. Because I didn't want to go to my party. Because I was a guy who could make his own decisions. I was a grown-up. Well, grown-up, that's what happens. You don't get anything for your birthday when you're 8. So, we get in the car today. My wife with her purse as she kisses me and tells me how nice I am. And I say to her, hey, do you remember me? Here's a story I never told you. And I just tell her the story that I just told you. She's like, I think you told me that story before. And I go, yeah. I go, do you know what the moral of that story is? She says, no. And I go, yeah, the moral of the story is maybe you shouldn't decide what you're going to get for your birthday because other people are getting you things for your birthday that you might enjoy more. She's like, well, what do you mean? And I go, well, I'm just letting you know that you say you wanted it to be an early birthday present. Maybe I had already taken care of your early birthday present. You should have thought about that. And so she's like, well, I can take the purse back. And I go, no, you can't. Store credit. Said it right when I bought it. So your birthday present's coming from that store, whether it's this purse or you want to return it for a couple of rings or you want to bring it back there for 19 blouses. I couldn't care less, but that's your birthday present. And we got to the house and I handed her John Mellencamp tickets. And I said, those are going on Craigslist because you decided what you wanted for your birthday. These 2 tickets, which cost together $175, exactly the same amount as your purse. This was going to be your surprise birthday present. I just want you to know this is your day camp. And she looked at me and went, you're not going to do this for real. And I said, yes, I am. I said, because you know what? I told you 5 times. I told you, think about this before you want to do it. Think about this. Think about what you want to do. And you said, you know what? That's what I want for my birthday. I want a light up purse. Well, let me tell you something. You're going to open up that goddamn purse and the light's going to go on. And you know what you're not going to be able to find in that fucking purse? John Mellencamp tickets. That didn't go over very well. So I put it to you, folks. I'm going to let you vote. I'm going to let you write me emails or leave comments on iTunes or leave comments on my website. I want to know what you think I should do. Do I let her ride it out with the purse and sell the tickets to teach her a lesson that she should have learned when she was 8 years old like I did? Or do I bite the bullet and realize my wife is the most important thing in the world to me and do for her what she would do for me and keep the tickets and go to the show? Because I know she would. My wife, if there is one thing I can say about her, it is that she would do anything I wanted her to do at any time. And I'm torn, man. You know what? She's got the purse, and that's nice. And I've also been a guy, I've never told my wife no, ever. If she wants something, she's got it. If she wants to go eat sushi, we go eat sushi. If she wants to buy shoes, she can buy shoes. Whatever she wants, she gets. Because that's why we're tough to buy for. We're tough to buy Christmas presents for or tough to buy birthday presents for. Because we're the kind of people who see something and go, I'm getting it. And we just get it. This will go a long way to explain why I'll be in debtor's prison in about 6 months. But we've always been those kind, at all times, we've always been, you know what, I want that. I've got to have it. I'm getting it. And we get it. But today I told her, in my head, I went, she's not going to do this. Seriously? And I explained to her, I said, listen, we're in a situation now where we kind of need to think twice about this. I mean, I spelled it out as much as I could, and this is what I got. But it lights up! So I got it for her. But I'm going to put it to you. Do I let her keep the purse and sell the tickets on Craigslist? Do I let her bring the purse back and keep the tickets? Or, now, fuck that. That's not even an option. The options are purse or person tickets. Do I sell the tickets to teach her a lesson, or do I go just take her to the show? I'm going to let you folks, and I'm not, by the way, I should tell you, I'm not going to do what you say. I might. I'm not saying you're the final arbiters in this, but I do want to get some opinions because, it's harsh. I mean, I understand it's harsh, but at some point you got to learn, don't you? I mean, it's not, believe me, I'm the last guy in the world who should be teaching lessons to anybody. For God's sake, I got punched by a chick the other day. So I do not have wisdom to dispel. I do not have anything to teach anybody. But I need to know what you guys think about it. So I'll let you decide, and you go ahead and let me know what you think. All right, so go ahead and send me emails at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com, or go ahead and leave stuff communique-wise. Leave a comment on my communique. And also leave a review at iTunes of the show. That'd be great. You can always get me through Mike at Mike Schmidt Comedy. Also, you can leave a comment or write me at myspace.com/Mike Schmidt Comedy. Let me know what you think regarding the purse matter. Vis-a-vis Karen V. Mike in the matter of purse and Mellencamp. Go ahead and weigh in. I need to know what you folks think. I want to thank Dan Dominguez and Paul J., who had me at the rooftop show last week. It was really fun. I did a show. It was in downtown Los Angeles, and it was literally on the roof of a building. I walked up. I'm not going to tell you. They let me in. I walked all the way up to the roof. I walked outside, and I went, this is going to fucking blow. And waited for it to blow. And then people just kept showing up with liquor and ready to have fun. And by the time I got on stage, man, it was great. And a bunch of great comics. Chip Pope was there, and Jonah Ray, and Craig Anton was there. And Paul and Dan went up and did sets. And a guy named Brady Novak from Chicago did a set. He was great. And it was really good. Natasha Leggero showed up. And there's people I'm forgetting. Howard Kramer came into Dragon Boy Suede. Really fun. Just an amazing lineup in a great venue. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to hate it. When I got up on the roof, I was like, well, the good news is when this goes badly, I can just immediately jump. I mean, that's not going to be a problem. But the show was great. I had fun, and I wish they did it there every week because it was really, really great. So thanks a lot, guys, for having me out there. This week, I will be at the White Fire Theater in Studio City, Sherman Oaks. I don't know. It'll be up on my website. It'll be up on the communique. And it'll go out on the MySpace page as well. But I'm there. It's a Thursday night, June 5th at like 11 o'clock p.m. is the show. So my good friend Matt Eisman asked me to come by and do that show, so I'll be doing that. So that'll be fun. And that's that. So go ahead and contact me through iTunes, or not through iTunes. Yes, I have an office now at iTunes where they go ahead and call me up, and I get to answer emails and find out what everybody has to say. That would be great if they installed me. But no, get me at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Go to MySpace.com/MikeSchmidtComedy. And come see me out at the White Fire Theater in Sherman Oaks/Studio City on Thursday night. And that's great. And also, weigh in, man. I got to know what's happening with Person Mellencamp. I got to know if I'm out of line here. I know I'm out of line, but I got to know if I'm, if I'm out of line to the point where you folks are going to think I'm a complete jagoff, as if you don't already, or if, I should cave. So let me know. Because I don't know what I want to do. I mean, and honestly, it's going to be a hassle for me to sell the Mellencamp tickets anyway. Because God, I hate doing business with Craigslist. Jesus, I just sold Cure tickets on Craigslist, and it's like I got 9 people who call me, and then they're like, "Well, would you take $5 less?" Yes, that's what I want to do is negotiate with you. Jesus Christ, buy the Cure. If you want to see the Cure, pay the extra $5. Robert Smith will be happy that you did, and don't try to get me to meet you in some dark parking lot. Inevitably, everybody's like, "Hey, do me a favor. Could you go ahead and meet me in this alley in Palmdale?" Yeah, that's what I want to do. I'm going to drop off the tickets at your fucking meth lab. Good God. Be a man and show up at my house and buy the tickets. I bought them through the internet. Get a computer. You know what? Send me something to do PayPal. Anything. I'll mail them to you. Just anything that keeps me from having to drive my SUV into a fucking war zone to drop off your Cure tickets. Jesus God. Be a grown-up. Honestly, could you just be a grown-up and meet me? I know it's not Barry's tickets. I know it's not convenient for you, but you're the one calling me on my Craigslist ad. You saw it was listed in the Valley. Come out to a Gelson's. Have a chicken sandwich with me and I'll hand you the Cure tickets. God forbid that you would do that. And no, instead, I've got to go and I've got to stand in a corner in a park and touch my nose twice and comb my hair and then sneak off to a garbage can and make a drop like the fucking Russians are stealing secrets. It's fucking Cure tickets. Just meet me, give me the goddamn money, and go watch Robert Smith and cry and jerk off thinking of him and his goth nonsense. I don't understand why people have to do that. So, you know what? Maybe Karen's off the hook. Maybe I don't even put the Mellencamp tickets up for sale because I don't want to deal with some guy in a straw hat and fucking hay in his mouth going, "Hey, I got to save Farm Aid. Come give my Mellencamp tickets on my thresher." No, dick. Come and meet me. Come off the farm. Come out of your small town and meet me and give me some dough for the tickets. It's Mellencamp, baby. Fuck that. You can leave the farm for 5 minutes, okay? I know. I know. Trust me. It'll hurt so good if you meet me. What if I just did that? What if all I did was ramble on with puns of Mellencamp songs? You know who wouldn't like it? Karen. Because for every second she heard it, she'd remember it. And she would sit there and she would just hold that purse. And I told her, I said, you know what? Put those batteries in your fucking purse, and the night of the concert, just open the purse and close it. Open it and close it. So the lights light up your face and just, ha, 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 ha. Because that's your light show. That purse. I hope you enjoy it. Maybe, you know what? Stick your iPod in there. Put a little, you know what? Put your phone in there and make the ringtone Small Town, and then call yourself over and over as you're opening the purse and it lights up. Down, 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 down. That might have been Inagata Vita. I don't think that was Small Town. That was not Small Town in any way, shape, or form. But however, I told her I could take that light up purse and just lights, close, no lights, lights, no lights. Lights, no lights. Because that's it. That's your big concert. Enjoy it. So I need you folks to weigh in and tell me if this is the move. If it's not the move, I understand it. You know that I'm going to find out. I'm a dick, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a decent guy because I am a jerk. And I'm not a jerk. Man, I'm an awful guy. I'm not an awful guy. I am not a good guy. But I don't think I'm a bad person overall. So, and go ahead and by all means judge that. I'm kind of a jagoff. I got no future. What am I talking about? But I am a jagoff. And I'm not a jerk. I'm a nice guy. It's just, I guess I have jerky tendencies. I've done so much ridiculous stuff, and then I wonder afterwards, I'm like, man, how come I don't hang out with anybody? Here's why, because you're a dick. You're finished. 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 You're finished.